Our Sunrise Smart Start beginning with a winter weather advisory currently in effect for parts of Monroe and Wayne counties. This after heavy snow in some areas overnight. Visibility impacted, slick roads as well. Carmela Boykin live in Rochester with the very latest at this hour. Good morning, Carmela.
Good morning, Mark. I'm live on North Winton and Blossoms Roads, where, as you take a look behind me, the roads are definitely slick. It was much clearer this morning, but now, as you can see, if cars have driven over the road, it's a bit slushy now. It's also pretty chilly as well. We've only seen a few private snow plows, if you pick up truck plows, clearing parking lots. But as AAA's Mark Mika says, there are a few key elements people should remember.
Top three things always start with a snow brush and a scraper because we know things are going to ice over, so you're going to have to clear all that first. An extra warm jacket just in case you're stranded for an extended period of time in cold weather. You want to make sure you have a way to stay warm. And sometimes, you know, a small shovel or some sand or grit that you can throw down just in case you get stuck on a surface that you can get yourself out of on your own.
And if you're headed out to work or to school this morning, make sure you bundle up, take a little bit of extra time to clear the snow off your car, and give yourself enough time to have a safe commute. In Rochester, Carmela Boykin, News 8. Mark?
All good advice, Carmela. Thank you. Now, according to AAA, about 40% of Americans do not carry a winter safety kit in their car. Other items to keep handy include a flashlight and jumper cables as well. President Biden expected to make a major announcement to lower consumer prices today, this coming as supply chain issues continue to plague the price of everything from food to gas. Joined by Washington correspondent Raquel Martin live in D.C. this morning. Raquel, good morning. Can we expect gas prices to be included in the president's announcement today?
Good morning. Well, there is growing speculation that President Biden could be announcing plans to try and tap into oil reserves to try and resolve the demand and supply problem that we're seeing. Now, if he were to do that, that would take collaboration from different countries. And so we're waiting to see exactly if he's going to make that announcement. I know yesterday the White House was asked specifically if that was coming. They said they didn't want to get ahead of any announcement, but there is a lot of attention and stress on the administration to try and resolve this issue, especially with the holidays right happening already at this point.
Sure, a lot of pain at the pump. What is the White House saying about inflation right now?
Well, the White House is saying that they are aware that Americans, many low-income Americans specifically, are struggling with high prices from the grocery store to the pump, and they say they want to resolve the issue. They're working and trying to use tools at their disposal, but they also say part of the problem is that we are still at the end of this pandemic and that things will not return to normal. Supply chain issues cannot be fully resolved until the economy recovers. So they're pointing to the pandemic as a way to get out of these current inflation problems. So it's unclear exactly what the timeline might be when Americans will see these issues resolved.
All right, Raquel, thank you for the live update from Washington this morning. The president also announcing Monday he will stick with Fed Chair Jerome Powell to help stabilize the pandemic recovery. In other news, in Georgia, jury deliberations set to begin today in the murder trial of Ahmaud Arbery, 3 men accused of chasing down Arbery and killing him last February. The defense says those accused killers were concerned neighbors hoping to make a citizen's arrest. Prosecutors say the 3 could not have made a citizen's arrest because Arbery did nothing wrong. The state will have the final word today in rebuttal before the jury gets the case. If the defendants are found guilty, they could face life in prison. The suspect accused of driving his SUV into a Christmas parade in Waukesha, Wisconsin, will make his first court appearance coming up later today. At least 5 people were killed, dozens more injured when that car sped through a crowd over the weekend. The suspect, identified as Darrell Brooks, police say he was fleeing another crime at the time. Brooks facing 4 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. Our top story in Rochester this morning, the first snow for so many across the area, James.
Yeah.
And that live view of Canandaigua Lake behind you really tells part of the story, doesn't it?
Yeah, right. So usually we have great visibility. You can see the entire lake, the dock, a flag. Yeah, not the case. So right now we've got moderate to heavy snow falling in Canandaigua. And really this is it. The band is moving from north to south. So once it finishes through the Finger Lakes, we'll be in good shape. In fact, we've got sunshine in Irondequoit over over into Charlotte, right along Lake Ontario, as that band has moved well south of the region. Victor, you're done with the snow showers. Henrietta, you're done with the snow showers. Downtown Rochester, yep, you're in good shape as well. Once we see those more cars traveling over the roads, I'm sure that slush will vanish and we get temperatures climbing into the mid-30s. Bus stop forecast as well as the Thanksgiving forecast at the end of the show. Mark?
All right, James, thank you. Of course, the road's a big part of the story on this Tuesday morning. Another live look with our sunrise traffic. No issues on 390. There are accidents this morning. In fact, we're tracking one in Fairport on Pittsford-Palmyra Road at Aldrich Road. So take it slow as you head out the door. Well, happening today, a Rochester man charged with conspiracy to kill a Monroe County judge and kidnapping his own children is due back in court. An indictment claiming Dimitri Cash and his brother Jonathan planned to murder Judge Stacy Romeo. Cash and his brother currently being held on kidnapping charges as well. They, along with another suspect, Kamara Pluvios, are accused of forcibly removing Cash's children from a foster home in Greece back in January. Those children were later found safe in Montgomery, Alabama. Both of the defendants are being held without bail. Well, a new lawsuit filed against a former Monroe County legislator. Lakia Sinclair accusing Ernest Flagler Mitchell of sending her sexually explicit photos last year. In a new lawsuit, Sinclair claims Flagler Mitchell used his political power to harass and manipulate her. She says the former lawmaker reached out to her after a mass shooting that left 2 people dead and 14 others injured in Rochester last September. Sinclair is requesting $1 million for damages to her mental health and reputation. Rochester police are looking for a suspect after a robbery at the Key Bank on University Avenue. Have a look at these images. They say the suspect walked in, passed a note to the teller, and left on foot with an undisclosed amount of money. Police say the suspect is about 6 feet tall and about 200 pounds. Anyone with information should call 911. To the latest on COVID-19 this morning, local health officials say hospitals are short-staffed and overcrowded, some even having to turn away patients. News 8 learning Thompson Health in Canandaigua had to refuse patients twice last week, sending them to other hospitals. Officials at Thompson say there were no ICU beds available in all of Western New York at the time. Doctors say many patients have been waiting to get placed in nursing homes as well, but there's a lack of bed space in those facilities too. A court could determine today if and when McQuaid's football team will play their state quarterfinal game. That game was postponed over the weekend because of a COVID outbreak among the McQuaid players. McQuaid Jesuit was scheduled to take on Bennett High out of Buffalo Saturday night until 9 McQuaid players tested positive for the coronavirus. Erie County health officials then requested only vaccinated McQuaid players and coaches be able to go to the game, but McQuaid officials fought back. The game was ultimately postponed. An Erie County judge has promised to review and rule on the case this week.
A negative test just does not guarantee that you're going to be negative, because we know you can get negative tests on the 5th, 6th, and 7th day and still test positive on day 8 and 9. There is a 2-week window. McQuaid had identified pretty much every player as a close contact to those players, so it's very disappointing to see that.
Well, the superintendent of Buffalo Schools says the game should have been forfeited by McQuaid instead of postponed, adding health and safety should be the top priority. Erie County announcing a mask mandate will take effect for all indoor and public locations beginning today. It's a response to the rise in COVID cases and part of a 4-phase plan announced by the county executive as well. He says if the mandate does not decrease cases, more restrictions could be added. Well, the State Assembly Judiciary Committee releasing its report on multiple allegations against former Governor Andrew Cuomo. The committee, led by Assembly Speaker Carl Hastie, convened back in March to determine whether the governor engaged in acts that may have justified impeachment. The report supports all of the claims made against the former governor, finding he engaged in multiple instances of sexual harassment, used state resources and property to publish and promote his book, and that he was not fully transparent when it came to the number of nursing home deaths during the pandemic. All right, James, folks getting ready to head out the door at this hour.
Yeah.
dealing with a fresh blanket of snow in most areas.
Yeah, certainly. And we've gotten a lot of accidents into the newsroom as well. Just looking at an accident on 104 East on the Irondequoit Bay Bridge. There's a live look there that's reduced down to one lane. Again, that is 104 East, right on the Bay Bridge is where that accident is. So certainly on the bridges is where we want to be careful. Bus stop forecast, sunrise is at 7:14. We've got the slick roads this morning. Temperatures in the 20s. Will only warm up a few degrees. Will likely just break freezing, so we'll see a little bit of melting. But we drop back below freezing tonight. So maybe a little icy for your Wednesday morning, but otherwise Wednesday looks great. Rain showers arrive as we get into Thanksgiving. Maybe a wet Thanksgiving for many around the region.
And good news for folks, the snow essentially is moving out at this hour.
Yeah, we're done with the accumulating snow, certainly.
That's it for us for now. Our next update in 30 minutes. CBS Mornings is up next. Have a great day.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.